Are you that obsessed with a celebrity that you would pay to have one of their viruses or diseases injected into you just to form some sort of biological communion? Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jingle, and today we're talking about the directorial debut of Brandon Cronenberg in Antiviral. But before we get into that, please remember to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I've got a ton more horror movie reviews and figure collectible unboxing and reviews coming down the road, so stay tuned for that. Now, Brandon Cronenberg is the son of the great David Cronenberg, who is best known for his remake of The Fly, Scanners, Videodrome, and so many more of some of my favorite horror movies of all time. I might consider him one of my favorite directors of all time in the genre. All of his films are filled to the brim with body horror and amazing practical effects, and that's one of my favorite things to look for in the genre, and his son's films are no exception. Now, this movie came out in 2012, and it was recently brought back to the light of day from Severin FIlms, who just released it on 4K for the first time ever. And I picked it up as part of their Black Friday sale, and the last week I had the chance to check it out, and it's really interesting. It's not an amazing movie in my mind by any means, but it's a good slow burn, and it's got some really good shots in it and a very interesting premise, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. So the story revolves around Sid March, who is played by Caleb Landry Jones, which you may recognize from Get Out. He played the brother of the main character's girlfriend, and he absolutely stole the show in that movie. He does a really good job in this one too, playing this uneasy, sickened salesman that works for this clinic. So he works for the Lucas Clinic, and they're a clinic that sells celebrity diseases. Now, that sounds crazy, but there's actually people in this universe that go in and they pay for celebrities' diseases to be injected into them just to have some sort of another level of connection with them. And it's really interesting. He's an amazing salesman at manipulating them into paying for the more expensive disease, which I won't get into spoilers, but it's something really gross that you see at the beginning that I would never pay to have. But the interesting thing about all this is at this clinic, when you get administered the disease, it's not contagious. So you just have the connection from the celebrity to you and nothing else. You can't pass it on to anyone else or anything. And the way they do this is they have some sort of machine that when you put the disease into it, it extracts the contagion, which I think is a really interesting concept. And that's not even the craziest part of this movie. I don't want to get into spoilers or spoil too much for people who haven't seen it, but there's also a celebrity meat market that sells cell steaks. Basically, they take cells from celebrities and turn them into steaks that people come in and buy and they eat. So this world is filled with cannibalism, or what I would consider cannibalism. But you walk in this meat market and there's literally pictures of celebrities like stuck into these slabs of meat, and it's putrid. Honestly, it's disgusting. And Sid March is friends with the owner of that meat market, and he gets caught up with some bad people after one of the most famous celebrities in the world passes away. Quote unquote passes away. I won't get into that. You guys can check it out yourself. But Sid goes to collect her disease, and people find out that he has it and they want it for themselves. And that's pretty much how he starts getting into all this trouble, and the movie just escalates from there. There's some really cool body horror scenes in this, not as much as I would like coming from Brandon Cronenberg, the son of David Cronenberg, which his films are filled with that stuff, but there's some still really cool shots and stuff that got under my skin. The ending is shocking and really, really beautiful, and it's well shot. I wanted to pull up some of the notes I wrote down watching the special features on this release because it's really interesting how Cronenberg came up with this idea. So he said that he came up with this when he had a viral infection, and it came to him in a fever dream about illness. And he said that he was obsessing over the physicality of illness and the fact that there was something in his body and cells that had come from someone else's body, and it started to make him think if there was some weird intimacy to that connection. And afterwards, he tried to think of a character who would see a disease that way, and he thought, a celebrity-obsessed fan would be perfect. Celebrity culture is completely bodily obsessed. Who has the most cellulite? Who has fungus feet? Celebrity culture completely fetishizes the body, and so he thought the film should also fetishize the body in a very grotesque way. And it even further shaped when he saw an interview with Sarah Michelle Gellar on Jimmy Kimmel, and she said that she was sick, and if she sneezed, she'd infect the whole audience, and everyone just cheered. And that also got me thinking of another thing that I heard once about Scarlett Johansson when she was on Jay Leno. She actually auctioned off a tissue with her mucus and lipstick on it and said she had caught a cold from Jay Leno, so it would be worth even more because it was passed between two celebrities, which is just wild to me that something like that actually happened. And that's how Brandon Cronenberg developed the premise for this movie, which is so interesting that a real life experience caused him to make this. The artistry from his father is very present in him. It's no surprise at all. I think that this movie's a solid watch, and you guys should check it out if you haven't. Now, Severin just put out a 4K, like I said, and they did a really good job on it. It's stacked. It's got different cuts of the movie. It's got an audio commentary on disc 1. It's got a making of. It's got one of Brandon Cronenberg's short films on it. It's got interviews with the cast and crew. And the third disc has a different cut in it, which I don't really know much about, but I really enjoyed it. I'll show you guys the packaging quick. So it comes in this. It's a very nice, clean slip with him on the front. The back says, "Long live the flesh." Brandon Cronenberg adds yet another dimension to the family legacy and a truly striking instant classic. And then you've got this cover when you take the slip off, which is kind of a nod to one of the body horror scenes. But yeah, this is a really cool release from Severin. I'm not sure how often I'll revisit this film. I would say check it out before you buy it and see if you like it. But overall, I think it was enjoyable enough for me to own, and I might revisit it someday. But that's all I got for you guys today. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.